Ed Robertson, hoping you're enjoying this encore presentation of TV Confidential. We'll be back with a brand new edition of the program next week.
Hi, this is Stephanie Powers. You're listening to TV Confidential.
Ed Robertson, welcoming you back to TV Confidential, radio talk show about television that is commemorating the recent passing of Chuck Norris by bringing you an encore presentation of a conversation that originally aired in November 2018 with actor and director Wayne Péré. Among his many roles in movies and television, Wayne Péré played Chuck Norris's nemesis, Victor LaRue, on Walker, Texas Ranger. Chuck Norris passed away this past Friday, March 20th, at the age of 86. At the time we spoke to Wayne Péré in November 2018, he was currently seen as Dr. Emerson in the Sony Marvel feature motion picture Venom. I've talked to a few actors who, if they're given a part, regardless of whether it's for film or television, the character they're asked to play, they may have a skeletal backstory. Yes. But now, and in some cases, the actor will take it onto himself or herself to come up with their own backstory, so at least they understand where that person was up to the moment where you step in and perform. Is that something you've ever done in preparing for a character?
Yes. Now, and I've gone through different phases of this. When I was in college, that was really focused upon in the training. Like, oh yeah, let's do the biography of this character. Mm-hmm. Let's do the backstory. So I would start out by writing out all this stuff, and that would be my little story that I had for myself. And what I would say now is that if it helps you, then you do it. Mm-hmm. If it's not helping you, get to where you need to be and get some connection to this piece, then it's superfluous.
Yeah.
So now I do a more focused background story, I guess I would say, depending on how much is given in the script. I mean, Venom is actually a good example because there's really not a whole lot on the page for Dr. Emerson. There's not a whole lot there. Mm-hmm. And I had to make choices all along the way. And it could change on the day because sometimes we would come in and like, oh, yeah, Wayne, you're going to do this.
Yeah.
And they would just throw pages at me. I'd be like, oh, okay, wait a minute. So, and those are the most challenging to play because there's nothing really there on the page. So, I'm having to make choices and fill in the blanks and like, hey, what is my relationship with Riz's character? And why am I involved in this project? What keeps me going with this project? So I made choices about, well, I think Riz's character, he's a genius.
Yeah.
And his intentions are good. His worldview coincides with my worldview. And then as things start to become evident how far he's willing to go, then I'm having to say, okay, wait a minute, can I go this far? So there's justification early on in saying, okay, wait a minute, no, this is for the right cause, and yes, maybe this isn't ethical, maybe this isn't exactly how I would like to do this, but he knows what he's doing, and the greater good is served with me staying involved in this project until I come to a point where I'm like, you know what, I can't do it. I can't do it anymore. I can't do it. And none of that's in the script. It doesn't say any of that. It doesn't tell me any of that stuff. I have to make a choice. Okay, am I just going to be a lemming and follow along the whole time? Like, okay, that's what I do. And, even the last scene, my last scene in the film, that was thrown at me on the day. That stuff wasn't written in there. Mm-hmm. So I didn't know that, and I don't want to ruin it for your audience. I didn't know which direction I was going in. So I didn't have the arc of the character. I didn't know where I was going until we got to that. And we shot, oddly enough, pretty close to sequence on this. Mm-hmm. So my stuff, because a lot of it was in a contained location, so it made sense for them to shoot it in sequence because each set was different. We didn't share the same set on any of the sequences, so it wasn't like we'll shoot this set out because that's normally what you do. You shoot the set out that you're on. So they were able to shoot it in sequence, and by the time we got to the ending scene, that was really I was finishing up the film. So I didn't know till I had shot the stuff before it. So thankfully, I'd already made choices, which may have been why they chose to insert me into the last piece in the way that they did, because they knew, okay, wait a minute, we see the arc that he's going, because I'm creating an arc for myself. Mm-hmm. I'm saying, okay, well, this is a journey for me. I start out here, and I'm going to move to this point. And, if the audience is able to follow that, it's great. If not, it's not taking away from the film. And, it's a secondary storyline, so it's not a focus of the film. And along the way, things were trimmed up a little bit just because, again, it's a secondary storyline, and they don't need to invest too much. The audience doesn't need to invest too much in Dr. Emerson. And the film's running long, then it's one of those things that they're going to trim up a little bit.
Yeah.
But, I'm still in there a good bit, and I think it's mostly that arc is conveyed through what they have.
We're talking to film and television actor Wayne Péré. Wayne is currently seen as Dr. Emerson in the Sony Marvel feature motion picture Venom. Venom is playing in theaters everywhere. Venom, of course, stars Tom Hardy. Wayne Péré will also be seen with Tom Hardy in a movie called Fonzo. Plus, Wayne also has a featured role in the upcoming HBO series Watchmen and recently worked with director Rob Reiner in Shock and Awe. You can follow Wayne Péré on Instagram at Wayne Péré, and Péré is spelled P-E-R-E, at Wayne Péré on Instagram. You recently played John Ehrlichman in the movie Mark Felt, the Man Who Brought Down the White House. As an actor, how do you go about playing a real-life person? Is it more of a challenge than it is playing a fictional character, or do you approach it the same regardless of whether the character is real or fictional?
I think it's definitely more of a challenge, especially if you're trying to do justice to whoever that human being is. Now, whether I did with John Ehrlichman, I'm not the one to decide that. But what's the most recent movie that Adam did? Adam directed. It's the movie. It's Christian Bale and Sam Rockwell. Vice, I think, is the name of it.
I think that's it. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think it didn't open yet, did it? They've been showing previews, but I don't think it opened. Or did it open? I think so. Not yet. It looks fantastic, by the way. It looks really fantastic. Christian Bale looks like Dick Cheney. It doesn't even look like Christian Bale. I had no idea it was him when I saw the trailer initially. Sam Rockwell, genius as W, which I work with Sam Rockwell on Galaxy Quest, who's another phenomenal actor. I love his work. And really a great guy, really a sweetheart. But yeah, I would say there's an onus on it. And those two guys are great examples. The commitment they have to playing those guys and the rhythms and the vocal qualities. It's a real challenge to do, and not everybody can do that.
Yeah. Not
everybody has that skill. And again, I'm not saying that I did justice to John Ehrlichman, but I did research and I did work on it, and hopefully I brought at least a taste of him to the screen. But those two guys in that film, I think, do a phenomenal job.
Yeah, and I would say you, regardless of whether you did justice to John Ehrlichman, the person who actually existed, I would venture to say you did justice to John Ehrlichman, the character who you were asked to bring to life in the scenes you did in that movie, and make it authentic.
Thank you. You're too kind. But it is a huge obligation, and yes, I think it's a tremendous challenge to do that, and not everyone can do that, and you don't have to as an actor. You don't have to have that ability. That takes a special skill, I think. It's like not everybody can sing.
Yeah.
So if I'm doing a film with music or a musical or whatever, and I have an okay voice, but some people have a phenomenal voice, and the ability to have that kind of ear and to be able to, because those guys you are finding the character's rhythm and doing at least some indication of the vocal quality. And yeah, that's a whole nother skill as an actor.
Is there anything else down the pike that you're working on that's coming out soon that you want our listeners to know about?
Well, I would say Trial by Fire is another one that I completed a while back with Laura Dern. I play her husband in that film. And I think it might be a little bit of a sleeper, but I think it's going to be an interesting film. So Trial by Fire, I think, is something to keep an eye on. There are a few things in the works right now in pre-production that I'm waiting to find out about, so I'm sure there's more coming along. And my American Horror Story just aired. I went back on Horror Story a couple of weeks ago, so that was out there. But yeah, that's pretty much it that I can think of at the moment. But there's so much legacy material out there, I guess you would say. So there's plenty of stuff out there if people want to watch and catch up and see what I've been doing. My website is offline at the moment, but I'm just trying to revamp that. But WaynePéré.com will have a lot of the posters from the projects I've been involved with. It will have some reels on there, and just some other little tidbits if people are interested. And yeah, like you said, please follow me on Instagram. I'm just getting started with that, actually, and I'm putting together a fan page on Facebook. I know I'm really late to the party on all that stuff, but
hey, better late than never. Wayne, this was a real treat to talk to you. I hope you'll stay in touch and visit us again one of these days on TV Confidential.
Well, absolutely, anytime. I appreciate you having me on, and yeah, I like your style, man. I appreciate how thoughtful you were, and the amount of research that you put into it. So, yeah, really a pleasure talking to you. So thanks again for having me on, and thank you to your listeners for listening. I appreciate it.
You can follow Wayne Péré on Instagram at Wayne Péré. Stay with us, folks. We'll be right back.
This portion of TV Confidential is brought to us by our friends at Front Porch Realty, the community of realtors in the Northern Bay Area of California that is committed to finding the solution that is best for their clients. Whether you're a first-time home buyer or looking to sell or lease your property in Northern California, call Karen Strain at 415-886-7411 or visit frontporchrealtygroup.com for more information on how they can help you.
Ed Robertson, thanking you for listening to the TV Confidential podcast. If you like what you hear, please hit the subscribe button so that you won't miss our next episode. We'll continue our commemoration of Chuck Norris in our second hour by bringing you an encore presentation of our conversation from September 2013 with Cherie J. Wilson. Cherie J. Wilson, the actress known around the world as April Stevens on Dallas and as Assistant DA Alex Cahill on Walker, Texas Ranger. All that more when we come back for hour number 2 of TV Confidential. Please stay with us.
Listen, were you forced into getting a solar contract and now you just don't want it anymore? Maybe the solar company misled you. Or is your solar contract buried with hidden fees? Are you not saving the amount of money you thought you would on your energy costs? Don't worry. At the Solar Exit Hotline, we can help you cancel your solar contract, even if the panels are already installed. Our experienced legal team will review your contract and help you cancel it, possibly saving you thousands of dollars. You got to call right now for complete details. So listen, if you're not happy with your solar contract for any reason, we are here to help you cancel it. Call the Solar Exit Hotline now for immediate options to help you exit your solar contract. This call is 100% free.
800-908-7197. 800-908-7197. 800-908-7197. That's 800-908-7197.